Hey y'all, really quickly, spread the word, send this everyone you know to our six old faithful subscribers. Make your family subscribe. Just turn off notifications. We're trying to change platforms to YouTube Live. We want to do it live because we're a little bit over the fakeness of AI. And we want you guys to see us fail in real time and, just face plant like we normally do. It's cool. We have a barrier to entry though, and that is 50 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We're at 35. Send, share, just click. Link will be in show notes. Thank you kindly.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey, Liz.
How's it going?
Oh, it's another fucking day in paradise. I realized that I captured a fart on my mic in one of our episodes. And this was like, oh my God, 2 episodes back. I can't remember. And it was like the morning of when it just came out, and I was like driving to work and I had the volume all the way up. Usually I listen to it like after we record, I'll listen to it on like 2 times speed. Just to like go really quickly through it and make sure like there's nothing really weird, right?
Yeah.
And then once we publish it, then I go, okay, I'll listen to it slower speed. And I was in the car and I was like, I remember farting. And then I didn't catch it on the first go through, but in my car with the volume all the way up, I was like, oh my God, my mic captured my fart. Although all your roommates say we shouldn't talk about poop or stuff, and your husband.
That's hysterical. I think he wouldn't care about the farting.
He's the king of like one
He's
in the
the fan of
chamber.
farts.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. I married into a farting family. Anyway.
Everybody farts.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I never heard it, so I guess nobody will, recognize that.
Oh, you're gonna have to. I know there's gonna be a couple of people that are gonna be like going back and like totally listening for it. How are you?
I am okay. Tired. I started back working yesterday, but like briefly. Worked a little bit with breaks in between clients because I'm like, I get so exhausted so quickly, but I'm feeling a lot better. So
Good.
That's good as far as physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so glad to be back at work though. Sucks not making any money for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I know. If we were only in like Europe where you get 3 months off every year.
Yes, I would do all my surgeries at that point.
I wouldn't. I just go to the beach and like not talk to anyone.
Well, that also is an option, but
Yeah.
It is what it is. How's your week been?
It's fine. I have no complaints. I really can't complain. I'm working hard right now, and I'm happy to work. I don't mind my job. We're both lucky in that regard where, we kind of get to do what we want to do, schedule. And
I had a new client today, and he was like, so how long have you been doing this? And I was telling him, and he said, oh, okay. He said, what else do you do? And I said, well, I work a lot. And he's like, oh, doing hair? And I'm like, oh no. And I told him everything I did, and he goes, oh my God.
I know.
He's like, how do you have time for everything? I'm like, oh, it's tricky, but I manage. So
it's called a schedule.
Yes, it is a schedule.
Yeah. Oh, and the variety, I think both of us like variety. Like, if I had to sit at a desk job,
no way.
I would probably go postal and kill someone again. I'm like, I can't do it. Even just sitting down for this podcast, I'm like, I'm ready to like run down the street afterwards.
Yes. Yeah.
No,
it's crazy. I think I've had like temp jobs where I've like, in between jobs or whatever, I've done temp jobs in an office, and it's just like so draining. Like I feel so much more tired than when I do the stuff that I do, because I mean, just sitting there staring at a computer or data entry or anything like that, because I've done pretty much everything across the board. answer phones, whatever. It's so freaking boring.
Yep.
I could not do those types of jobs. So
I mean, I did
glad that
that.
I found what works for me.
Yeah. I did
And
that for a little bit. I mean, I had a desk job for a minute,
uh-huh.
the mortgage loan stuff.
Yeah.
But at least I was up and walking around the office, like going from one office to the other a lot. And
Yeah.
that helped. But like, and you weren't always sitting down at a computer. That was, yeah, not
Sure.
not a fan.
Yep.
Um, so um we have artwork. I'm excited about that.
I know.
We got to figure it out. We're just doing the nuts and bolts of it, finishing that. Uh cousin, I talked to her today for a little bit, and she was like, "Have you reached out to a musician?" And I was like, "Yeah, we've started a conversation, but we haven't finished it. So I need to follow up with him real quick and get our music going." So that's news on this pod. Um, and
Yeah.
I think,
Artwork's finished. I've got the painting at my house right now. We just have to PDF it so we can put it as a thumbnail, which actually Randy can do that tonight, maybe, and we can
yeah,
even possibly have it up by our launch. We'll see.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Um,
What is our theme this week?
so we have, I don't know if there's a theme. There's that definitely our define this.
What's our define this, Liz?
Our define this is the word submissive.
Don't go to your BDSM, you people with your minds in the gutter.
No.
You are
It
my
is a
friend.
word that was taught to us growing up in the cult, and a word that was highly misdefined. Um,
Do you
as
think it was
far as
misdefined or it was just
no, it was misdefined. I actually
it was
researched
narrowly
it.
defined.
It was what?
Narrowly defined.
Yes, but it was interpreted the way they wanted it to be interpreted because they pulled it from a Bible verse, right? Um, but they interpreted it incorrectly, which we have discussed. And last week we discussed that who the heck knows what is true in the Bible and what the actual, stuff in there is. But if you're going by the Bible and you're using this word, it is definitely misinterpreted, is how we were learned. So, and it's very interesting that the actual definition of it is so cult like. Okay. So ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly obedient or passive, a submissive, almost sheep like people.
Sheeple.
Whoa. Right. I read that and I was like, oh my God.
So
So, like,
maybe
yeah,
it wasn't misdefined.
sleep, a sheep to the slaughter,
Yeah.
like
No, maybe
literally.
so maybe it wasn't like misdefined because that actually
Well,
is what it kind of was.
yeah. So I was reading some stuff about like what the Bible thinks of submissive, and so the Bible, it says what is the verse? I'm trying to find it right now. Um it says wives submit to your husband as to the Lord. Okay, so this is where it was like we were supposed to be submissive to authority and one day be submissive to our husbands. um and so that was where they took that passage from. But what it actually means is just respect your husband's point of view. It means share your opinion with him. um it means not invalidating him, in especially in front of others, which, oh my God. But like we weren't taught that you could even have your opinion. This was a you do what they say, like a tyrant type situation, not necessarily a you have an opinion and I have an opinion, respect each other's opinions and things like this. um so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Also,
it was never taught that way though. It was never taught that you could have your own opinion. So females and males
no,
had a hierarchical structure.
and the females were subservient to the male.
Yes.
So whatever the man said in a very gendered hierarchy, you
Yeah.
had to go with, and there wasn't any option for debate or negotiation or offering of your opinion. It was sort of, that is the law of the land, and you don't defer to anyone else
Yes.
other than the man.
Well, in like the definition when it's talking about submissive in a relationship, it means to put your desires lower than someone else's. I'm sorry, but like, I don't think that
That's called a
that
sub.
belongs. Yeah, I don't think that belongs in a relationship because there are two humans
Well,
in a
unless it's
relationship.
requested.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Unless it's requested.
Absolutely. So
otherwise humans are humans, and there should be a level playing field in terms of respect for that.
Yes, yes. Um, so being submissive, it literally negates everything, your thoughts. You're not allowed to think on your own because someone else is making that decision for you. You're not allowed to make any decisions because it's not your job. So I guess in some ways it could be good.
Well, I think, yeah. I mean,
but then you're left,
you're
left with being unheard and unfulfilled. And
and that goes to agency. Like, if you're the creator of your own life and your own decisions, your own choices, right, the repercussions of those, your own, right, all of that, I mean, it's basically slavery.
Yeah.
So if you don't get to make all those choices, and you don't get to suffer the consequences of good or bad choices, or reap the rewards of good choices or bad choices, whatever they may be, then you're basically in a slaveholder relationship. It's, chattel slavery, where the relationship only goes one way, to the benefit of one person. So therefore, the person who does not have any benefit is a slave to the relationship, and that they have no agency as a human, as a sentient being.
Yeah.
I also think that, like, the subservient also kind of, there was like God, the deity,
yes,
and the Bible, and the pastor or leaders of the church, or pastor, and then the leaders, which, not democratically elected, right? Just appointed. And then the men, and then the women, right? So it wasn't just subservient to a man or your partner in a relationship, because we could talk about it in terms of relationship or in terms of the cult structure. And in a relationship, it was like, no, the man is the ultimate authority, but in that relationship, the man is also subservient to leaders of the church, pastor, Bible, deity, blah blah, in terms of what they thought that was.
Yes.
And so then you're talking about like the lowest of the low on the totem pole, right? Where you're not able to have any say in anything that happens in your life. And again, I'm like,
I think that is the hardest thing coming out of a situation like that, is where
it goes to the how to that we're going to do also.
Yeah. But it does kind of go hand in hand with that. But like, it makes you have some like sort of shock when you finally are out in the real world going, oh, nobody's deciding this for me. Okay, I need to make a decision, and I can make a decision, and it's allowed, and
but there's no
in a relationship, there's two people in a relationship, not just one.
Right. And what the subservient does not teach you is how to fail. Like, it doesn't teach you that you could make a wrong decision. So that's left up to you, and you have to learn that on your own.
Sure.
To figure those things out. So the learning curve is steep.
Yes.
On making your own decisions. But then also I think I experience this on a daily basis, and it's only when I'm hyper aware of it that I stop and take my own agency back. Meaning,
Yeah.
saying no,
Right.
telling someone not what they necessarily want to hear, but
Sure.
telling them what they're asking you for.
Yes.
Maintaining an authoritative relationship in interpersonal experiences, professional, day-to-day activities, while not saying I'm sorry for everything all the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge.
Not feeling guilty about
Right.
not pleasing someone else.
Yes. Oh,
So
that's huge because that is something that I struggled with most of my adult life. I'm pretty sure up until, I mean, a few years ago, honestly. Just making, yes, making everybody doing what
not
they
people
wanted,
pleasing.
making them happy. Yes, pleasing people.
It's such
Um
a miserable life.
oh my God, it's so miserable. Once you can figure out that you don't have to do that, it's like so liberating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and these are like just tips of the iceberg for all the things that, we had to unpack,
Oh,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
And they don't come all at once, it's here and there,
Yes.
it's just these little
It's
things
a
that,
continuous journey for years.
yeah. Oh, I think it'll probably be, for the rest of our lives,
Yeah, probably
because
so.
we were so indoctrinated from so young that some of this stuff is just natural to us. It doesn't even occur to us that that's not how it's supposed to be until we
Sure.
know otherwise.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why I think like college education, and I don't think everybody should go to college. I think, it's a bogus racket right now. And I
Oh,
teach,
100%.
but I learned so much and so fast and so well because I went. And
Yeah,
that
for sure.
and that helped immensely with some of these big hurdles. But
With
yeah,
just even the, being immersed in like stuff that's not
secular
what you grew up
knowledge.
in.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well-known facts,
Mm-hmm.
history. Yeah.
Yep. Oh
Cultures,
yeah, our history. Did we have
tradition.
history in school?
We had we learned Colorado history in grade school.
Okay, grade school. I don't think there was history in college or in high school. I would go back occasionally and go, okay, what did we actually
Well, in the paces we learned like American history of some sort. I think it was
Mm,
all through religious
eyes?
pedagogy and text and everything. So it was slanted
Sure.
in that way, but not all of it for sure.
Yep.
Uh-uh. Yeah, but catching up, and then also having the learning curve on, and that's pattern behavior. Submission is pattern behavior.
Yeah.
That becomes
It is.
it becomes a habit. And then,
Yep.
you don't realize you're doing it until you're like, why am I like running all over the place for everyone else? And then not really paying attention to what I need or what my needs are, or what,
And there's a difference between that and like serving others or like
for sure.
doing
And
stuff for others.
I mean, still to this day, I volunteer
Right.
at places because I think you should be a part of a community. I think that
Yes.
none of that is wrong. The good parts of everything that we experienced in that are good. The bad parts we had to like parse out and figure it out. Right. And then, working, being a part of a community, working in the community, volunteering, helping other people. That's all still good things that we kept. But
Yes.
the bad ones like are a tougher learning experience, so you don't get taken advantage of. People don't run all over you,
Right.
and that's tougher, I think, for me.
For sure. So that's gonna lead us into, let's just go for it. Our how-to.
Right. Which is
Yeah,
it's deeper than I think we realize.
it is. It is a deep one. And it's how to trust.
Right. So trust from the Oxford Dictionary, right, as a noun, a firm belief in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of someone or something. And I could pick that apart in million different ways. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that comes to mind with that is that trust, if you take that definition, is a firm belief.
Yes.
That does not correlate to fact.
Mm-mm.
It's a belief. You know some things, right? Scientific method.
Sure.
We know some things and we believe some things. So
Sure.
trust involves faith, a belief. So how do you trust when everything that you grew up with
And everyone you know or knew,
right,
that were supposed to be those people you trusted in your life turn out to be completely wrong and only out to harm you?
right,
Um,
evil,
evil, that's a good word. Yes.
and ill-intended and completely hypocritical in their belief system. So
yes.
the belief in and of itself is, and that goes back to like when we were talking about forgiveness and trust. Forgiveness is given, trust is earned.
Yes.
We were never given the opportunity to earn the trust of our authorities because we were born into the cult.
Yes.
The submissiveness became a habit in which we didn't have a choice to let them earn our trust.
Right.
So there never was trust. It was shoved down our throats to trust.
Yes. Well, and I don't even think I knew, learning to trust anybody, I think, was probably one of the most difficult things, because everything we had trusted our entire lives,
it was all
and
wrong.
everyone we had trusted our entire lives was just ripped to shreds.
Right.
And so when you go out, and I mean, I felt this especially when I had children, that I was the most skeptical person of every individual who came in contact with my kids, to the point where I was like a little crazy at times. My kids didn't sleep over at people's houses. I didn't allow them to do things where I wasn't going to be there. I mean, it was just like, I did go a little crazy. At some point you have to go, okay, I have to trust that, when they got a little older, I have to trust that I have raised them enough so that they know, that things are okay, and get a little bit of peace. But trusting people is really hard, but trusting even yourself, like trusting
that your decisions are correct.
Yes.
Or that you're making the right choice.
Yeah.
When you really weren't given the opportunity to fail or to establish that.
I mean, yeah, we weren't given the opportunity to fail, because I mean, I guess there's different.
It was never required of us to have someone earn the trust.
No.
So we never learned how to do that. I did the same thing with Macy.
Yeah.
Roommate 4. Sorry. Because I was a helicopter for the first year and a half. I mean, I didn't let her do anything. And then about a year and a half in, therapy. I started just thinking in terms of how I could raise her to be a responsible human without fear. And I was letting all of my fear,
yes,
of everything that I experienced growing up get to me. So then my perspective changed on that, and I went, what would I, as a child, have wanted someone to do for me? And it would have been to expose me to everything and let me make my own choices.
Yeah.
And
no, I definitely was
when I shifted and went, okay, my job as a parent is to make her a responsible, decent human being. And that's it. So every single choice after that was made based on that, rather than my fears of trusting other humans, my fears of her getting into trouble, my fears of her getting hurt. Because if you don't let them get hurt, then they don't know how to do it. One of my clients came in today, and this is so funny. she had a fair goldfish.
A fair?
You know,
Oh, from the fair.
The fair goldfish, right? And I was just dying laughing because do you remember sushi?
Sushi.
We had a fair goldfish that lived to be like 8 years old.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if it was a fair.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was from roommate four's like elementary school.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And it lived until
I thought you meant us growing up. I'm like, we
no,
have box
no.
goldfish.
My
Okay.
my roommate four.
Yeah.
And that thing grew to like it was probably like 18, 20 inches. It was huge and it lived for like 7 years. Sushi. That's what we called it.
Okay.
So I was cracking up. So anyway, client, she has two daughters. One's like first grade and the other's two. So like 6, 7, and 2. And they had a fair goldfish, probably for like, she was like, it was alive for like 6 months. I was like, oh, do I have a story for you? And she was like, there's two separate reactions to that. So she had like her whole family and the babysitter and stuff around. They saw the fish was dead.
Oh no.
So two reactions, right?
Right.
So the babysitter and her mom were like, oh my God, we're going to the store right now. And we're going to get another fish. Right. So they're trying to protect her from having to deal with the grief and the pain and the loss
Trauma.
of losing a fish. Right.
Yes.
And then my client was like, oh no. Oh no. No. What are you doing? No. We're, it's a benign situation. It's the first interaction with something, permanent loss of something. At this age, it's great. It's a fish. Great. She was like, the wailing, the crying, the drama. And of course, she was just like, oh my God, she's so emotional like me. And I was cracking up. I was like, yep. But letting them figure that shit out at this young age, especially on something, of course it's loss. Of course you grieve it. It's a thing. It's a small thing. But the learning, the ability to let them figure it out on their own and handle that emotion and process grief, talk about it, right? And deal with the emotional distress that comes with that are all things that we never got the opportunity to do in terms of trust for other humans. The only thing we did was told that we had to do this trust. And then it was swooped out from underneath us without any skill set going into the world of what to do in terms of trust for other people.
Yes.
And that was, again, it's all like self-taught. I'm like, yeah. I used to give people 3 strikes. I would be like, okay, you screw me over once. I'll assume you had a bad day, right? Whatever, go behind my back, do something dumb. Okay, 2. And the third time I was like, no, you're out of my life. I don't know that I believe that anymore.
Yeah.
I literally let someone just show me who they are once, and then I'm like, cool. All right. It's no longer 3 strikes. It's just 1. Like, okay.
Yeah. No, and I think people do show you who they are pretty quick.
Well, that is the positive.
Yeah.
Of us learning how to trust.
Right.
Is we can read a room. When I date now, and this has been going on since 2016. The last big relationship is I give people 30 seconds on a date. Oh, I'm not kidding. That was in all my
I believe you. I know you.
Profiles.
Yes.
I was like, you walk in, you don't look like your photos. You walk in, the first thing you do is be a jerk to the wait staff. Like, the first thing you do is, like anything, because that's all showing me exactly who you are.
Right.
If you're a complete slob, or if you're too overdressed, like you're too worried about your appearance. I mean, there's so many things that you can gather. Body language, how they treat other people, how they treat you. Yeah. And there's so many cues and clues as to who they are. They really do tell you in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all I need. Because honestly, all the trust that has been broken between you and I in the life, we're pretty good judge of character. I will say that neither one of us are burnt. I thought about this too when we were talking about this. We extend that trust unconditionally really well. We're both
Yeah.
very much hope in humans, and we're also
We
very
have faith in people. I don't know if it's trust. I think it's more faith in people, but my first inkling is to trust someone until they give me a reason to not trust.
absolutely. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, though, that you and I haven't been burned, even though like the
Mhm.
foundational principles of our lives for
Right.
most of our young lives into adulthood was completely wiped out.
Sure.
We both don't, we give you the benefit of the doubt until you tell us otherwise. And
Yeah.
that's the big takeaway is like, how did we do that? You go
Right.
first.
So I just had to change completely my way of thinking because I grew up in this, you grow up in this bubble of all of these people that you're made to trust, that you think are right, and this bubble bursts. And I definitely went the total opposite and didn't trust anybody. And then as I got older, my kids started growing older, and I realized that there are so many good people in this world. There's tons. There's also horrible people in this world. But, you know, in general, you're not going to come into as many horrible people as you are good people, I think. And that's part of my, just the way I believe. I think that um it was a process for sure. I don't know if there's like a simple solution to doing that, but I think that it just took some time, and I had to realize that not everybody is out to cause pain and cause you to um is not looking out for your best interests. Most people are,
Generally
totally,
good.
yes, good. And I don't say most people because there's so many shitty people in this world, but a lot of people and people you encounter on a daily basis, people I come in contact with. I know so many good people, so many good people. In the cult, I knew so many good people. I think there was a lot of good people that were just pulled into it just like we were. But so in general, people are good. And I think I just had to, and I had to just like let that happen. And there were points in my as my kids grew up, definitely, where I thought that I had made a huge mistake, or I had made a huge mistake in trusting somebody that shouldn't be trusted. And definitely that happened. But I'm I just move on to the next person, and just go, okay, they weren't to be trusted. I feel like I've had um jobs, I mean, in any area of life, there's people you can and can't trust. And I definitely can tell pretty quickly with people, I think, just because it is something that you just get better at doing. And like you said, in the 30 seconds,
Yeah.
you can figure out like, okay, this person is a jerk. um I remember, this is a weird story,
Oh,
but you were talking about wait staff and it brought it up.
bring the weird.
Yeah, so my biological father, um sperm donor, I don't know what you want to call him. He was in and out. He left around the time I was probably 5 or 4. But occasionally he would pop up and he would take us out to eat, or take us, he would come pick us up. Rachel rarely went. Rachel was angry at him for most of her life.
For good
However,
reason. For good reason.
yes, yes, and that's probably something else. Like, I trusted this man because he was my dad. Probably shouldn't have, because oh my god, he like literally would,
You
he things that
you
we were,
are supposed to trust your parents.
Well, absolutely.
That is a given. They are
Yes.
supposed to be looking out for you with your best interest in mind.
Yes.
My
Yes.
trust was broken at 18 months old
Yeah.
with that relationship.
Well,
so
right.
I had a reason.
Yes.
You really didn't have much and you believed.
Yes. And I always thought that, you know, I mean, I don't know what I thought, but anyway, I wanted to love him. But he would take us out to eat on the occasion. I mean, this is like once every few years, right? This is not something that was on the regular.
He Waffle House? Waffle House. It was
Yes,
Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Oh my
yes.
God.
Oh,
Waffle
you go
House.
there, Denny's, like those were his spots.
I remember the smoke.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you used to get smoke in any restaurant. He'd smoke in his car, he'd smoke in his truck, whatever he's driving. Like it was just like he smelled like cigarettes so bad. But that was like a vivid memory. But he
well, cigarettes won't make you go to hell, but it'll sure as hell smell like you've been there. Do you remember that line?
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So he would take us out to eat and we would go sit down and he treated the servers like they were the bottom of the totem pole, like pieces of shit. He would curse at them if they got anything wrong. He would holler at them across the restaurant if he needed something and they didn't do it fast enough. And I remember being so embarrassed. I would want to crawl under the table. I was just like so embarrassed because
well, at that point, mom was probably in service industry too, because she was.
Well, yeah, mom was always in the service industry of some kind because she was just trying to freaking get by.
She was doing
so
gig
she
work.
did hotel cleanings, like, you know, a lot of different odd jobs that like most people would look down on, if you can say that.
The entitlement.
Yes, but he was acted so, you know, entitled and so superior.
Meanwhile,
servers,
he didn't pay mom a dime of child support.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think years. I mean, he would get a job occasionally and my mom would get a little bit of money because they would take it out of his check and then he quit that job. So he definitely was not a wonderful human being. But he did that. And as the years went by, I began to not look at him as such a great person. Like it was not somebody I loved. I actually felt nothing when he passed, which sounds horrible, but I didn't really have any emotions over it. Because I had just come to realize that he was just not an important person in my life. So that was somebody that I made that decision even after was out of the cult, that that's not somebody I trust. And I told him, he showed up at my door when my daughter was born, roommate one, and wanted to see her. And I said, no, you're not seeing her because I cannot trust you that you will be in her life. I don't want you in and out like you were in mine. And I don't want somebody around her that is like you. And so that was a huge step for me because that was like probably the first time I ever put my foot down and said no to somebody, because I think as a kid, you always want two parents and you want, you know, them to be together and you have this fantasy about it. But my dad was not a good person.
Oh my God, there's so much.
And he showed his ass so many times. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I think that was probably the first time I put my foot down and said no. And I feel like once I realized that I could say no to somebody, then that's probably the time when I decided that it's okay to trust people, because if they break that trust, I can just say no and we're not going to be together anymore. You know, like and I don't have to have you in my life anymore.
It's right. A trust is earned.
Yes.
And I feel like in our justice system, which is really fucked up, right? Innocence is assumed until proven guilty. And then supposed to be. think that that's sort of like the trust thing, like where you and I stand with that. It's like, I'm going to trust you, until you prove otherwise, that you're untrustworthy.
Sure.
And so I was thinking about this too, and just a brief little segue too. I almost think, like, I think that there's so many steps to where we learned how to trust and what to trust in people. But one thing that I think it comes back to a lot too is like, so in your professional life, in your personal life, financial life, spiritual life, in your belief, right? You do have to put faith in people. So
Oh, absolutely.
I go to the bank and I deposit my check. I am trusting that money's going to be in the bank there, right?
Right.
So like financial trust, we do it and we don't really think about it that much.
Right.
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 Like when you look at the bank, like the financial collapses and right, all that bank, it's like, well, yeah, I get it why people don't trust government or banks or whatever, for these reasons, right? It's that they were given the opportunity to hold that trust and to keep it safe, and they didn't, but then if we take that and we, just pair it back to like your personal life, your professional life, you know, when somebody disappoints you and there's not a good reason for it, and that's where I go back to like the 3 counts, and it's not necessarily 3. I mean, in our nuclear family, I've had, between you and the rest of us, I'm sure everyone's let me down more than once or more than 3 times, probably more than 5, right?
Right.
Yeah. But there's already an overlapping relationship there that has been more informed by the trust that has been kept than it has by the trust that has been broken. And I feel like then it's not like calculated in a bank account where you're keeping score. However, there are extenuating factors that determine how much trust you give to an individual or to a relationship, personally, professionally, bank, right?
Yeah.
So there are factors that make it more important for you to forgive and to give that person more trust because of the external relationship you have with them, like between me and you.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt almost all the time. However, when meeting someone for the first time, those are our markers. We go, okay, you fucked me over this time.
Right.
I'm going to let it go. You told me you had a bad day. You had, shit going on. You apologized, right? You were honest with me. You were a decent human being about it. You acknowledged that you let me down and that our trust was broken. I'm working on it. You told me that. Great. I'm going to be more willing to forgive you if you're open and honest about it, and then to reestablish trust with you. However, you don't do any of those things, then fuck the hell off, because I have no more fucks to give.
Right.
And I have a lot of care to give. I have a lot of love, and I will take care of you, and I will absolutely like treasure the relationship with you if you're willing to meet me halfway into that relationship, whatever it is. But if you don't show any of those things, then fuck off to hell, to put it bluntly.
Just a bit. Yeah. But it's true. It's true. So I don't really have anything else to say on that. I think trust is hard if you've been fucked over.
It's complex, and it is, again, like I said, forgiveness is given. I think trust is earned.
Yep.
And if you want to build a relationship with people,
I think trust is assumed so often. Do you know what I mean?
I think you and I assume trust.
Yes. It's assumed so often, but it can be broken very easily, and then it's nearly impossible to ever get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once it's broke.
Yeah. Well, let's end on that negative note. You got a funny story?
I've been trying to think of a funny story, but I like literally for the life of me,
I had one pop up.
Like,
I don't know if this is gonna get anyone in legal issue trouble.
Uh-oh.
But I had one, oh my God, burpee. I had one pop up on Facebook the other day and I was cracking up because I remember the night and I remember the whole story and I was like, what the actual fuck is going on? Liz, tell me about the time Randy buried a dead horse. You remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a funny story, man.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's a funny story, but it's literally like it's funny to you, but in the situation, it was just like, oh,
Oh my
so
God, but it's like
I had a
it's so out of left field that I'm like,
I
okay,
know.
that's
Well,
hilarious.
for you to imagine. Okay, so this is the story. So I owned a shop in New Mexico and a girl worked for me and she had a horse that was sick. And she kept it on some land. Well, for some reason, she decided she needed to move it to her backyard in the city limits. And the horse passed. And so she asked my husband to help her bury it. So they were just going to bury it on her parents' property. And so Randy says, okay, I'll do it. And she said, well, when can you do it? And he said, I don't know. There's like a Thursday or Friday. And he said, Saturday. He goes over there. This horse has like been dead for like probably a week or more because it's so bloated.
Touch of the rigor.
Yeah, it
Touch of the
literally
bloats.
was like stiff and bloated. So anyway, he has a backhoe where he works. So he ends up picking up this horse in the backhoe. I don't know if it was a backhoe or bucket, some kind of truck that he could fit it and reach over the fence, grab the horse, And then he proceeds to drive it to the property as he was digging the hole, a sheriff pulls up and is like, "You are not allowed to do that." And he was like, "Well, what the hell am I supposed to do?"
like there's a dead horse burying police.
Yes, it was like literally. So there was.
I know.
He was like,
call
"You have to
811
take
before
it."
you dig.
Yeah, you have to take it all the way. It was like probably 50 miles away to this town where they could bury horses. Anyway, it was kind of a shit show. My husband was like, "Don't ever volunteer me for shit like that." Because I literally used to be the queen of that. Like, I'm like, "Oh, Randy will do it."
Well, there
And
again, you go
like,
to your submissive trust. You know what I mean? It's like,
meanwhile, the entire time he's just worried about this horse popping because it was so bloated. He was like,
oh my God,
if this sucker pops, like we are screwed.
Oh my God,
Pretty
I have
funny.
carbonation and burps in me right now, and I'm like, can you imagine?
Oh
my God.
man.
Yeah, well, if you ever need to bury a dead horse, got some experts on hand here.
Got a little bit of experience there.
Oh my God.
Oh, all right. Well, have a good day.
You too.
Chat later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
In 1998, I was the whistleblower in a massive pedophilia case involving the Independent Fundamental Baptist Church, Cornerstone Baptist Church in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I was the lead key witness in a case that took down an entire network of child abusers. Charles D. Miller was sent to prison, and this was prior to the statute of limitations law being lifted in Colorado. In fact, shortly thereafter it was lifted, and he would have gotten life in prison. My sister and I wrote a book about what it was like growing up in the cult. We're looking for publishers. We are going to self-publish, but we need your help. If you know of anyone, hit us up. Contact info is in the show notes. Thank you kindly.